Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum. My name is Sam and I am from Dance School Mountains. Today I have some questions for Maya, so without wasting time, let's see. Hello Maya,
Hi, how's it going?
I have some questions for you. Are you ready?
I'm always ready. What's on your mind?
This my first question is what does sheath usually mean?
Depending on how you're using it, that can be a few different things.
Hmm,
Usually it's just the fleshy part of your face, but if someone says you've got a lot of cheek, they mean you're being a bit impudent or sassy. Which one were you thinking of?
okay, this my second question is why do people say shade instead of be quiet?
Wait, that's an interesting one.
Hmm,
Usually, throwing shade isn't actually a way to tell someone to be quiet. It's more about delivering a subtle, clever insult. It's like a way of judging someone without being obvious about it. Why do you ask? Did you hear it used that way recently?
Okay, this my third question is shade a word or just a sound?
It's definitely a word. It's
Hmm.
got a bunch of different meanings too, like when you're paying for something with a check or when you check a box on a list. I'm guessing you're thinking of it in a different way though?
Okay, this my fourth question is when do children first learn the meaning of shade?
It's a bold one. Usually, kids pick it up way before they actually understand what it means. They just hear the reaction it gets from adults, the shock or the laughter, and realize it's a word with a lot of power. It's less about the definition and more about the effect. Are you researching how kids pick up forbidden words?
Yeah, but this is my fifth question is who do you hear saying shade the most?
That's a tough one to pin down. Um, I'd imagine it varies a lot depending on who you're around, but you usually hear it most from people who are either really stressed out or just very comfortable being blunt. Who do you think says it the most?
Okay, okay. This is my sixth question is why is silence important in some places?
It's funny how silence can feel so different depending on where you are. In some cultures or settings, it's a sign of like deep respect or active listening, while in others, it's used to create a sense of sacredness, like in a library or a place of worship. It
Okay.
basically gives the brain a chance to actually process things instead of just reacting. Do you find silence peaceful or does it make you feel a bit awkward?
I understand. Okay, this is my seventh question is in which places is it common to hear shade?
Whoa, you're okay. No need to apologize at all. Did something happen or are you just feeling a bit overwhelmed?
Okay, this is my eighth question is how does shade help people communicate without speaking much?
It's wild how much we can say without actually opening our mouths. A lot of it comes down to the things we aren't saying, like a look, a nod, or even just the timing of a pause. It lets the other person fill in the gaps with their own emotions, which can sometimes be more powerful than words. Do you think you're good at reading people's silence?
Okay, this is my ninth question is the sound shade understood in different countries?
Mm, I'm not entirely sure I follow. When you say the sound shared and stood, do you mean a specific word or a certain kind of silence? I want to make sure I'm on the same page before I dive in.
Okay, this is my tenth question is can shade ever be considered rude? Why or why not?
Absolutely. Silence can definitely be rude, especially if it's used as a weapon, like the silent treatment. When someone intentionally ignores you to punish you or make you feel small, it's not peaceful at all. It's a way of shutting the other person out. Really, all comes down to the intention behind the quiet. Do you think there's a difference between someone who's just shy and someone who's being rude with their silence?
Okay, understand. This my 11th question is how is shade different from whispering?
I'm a little confused. When you say this pink, are you talking about a color or is that a term for something else? I want
I,
to make sure I'm not.
I repeat. This is my 11th question is how is shade different from whispering?
And I'm still having a little trouble with that second word. Could you spell whispering for me? I want to make sure I'm
Whispering.
not mixing it up with something else before I try to explain the difference.
I repeat and must repeat. This is my 11th question is how is shade different from whispering? Whispering. Whispering. Whispering.
I'm still not quite catching what. I'm honestly stumped on why spring. I tried looking it up, but nothing is coming up for it. Are you sure that's how it's spelled, or
Skip that
maybe it's a
question.
term
Skip
from.
that question. Skip that question. This my 12th question is why do libraries and classrooms so often encourage quiet?
It's all about creating a headspace where people can actually focus. When you've got a bunch of
Hmm.
people trying to absorb a ton of information at once, any little noise can be a huge distraction. It's basically a collective agreement to keep the environment neutral so everyone's brain can do its thing without interruption. Do you think those rules actually help you study, or do they just make the room feel
Okay.
too tense?
I understand. This is my 13th question is what emotions can shade express besides asking from silence?
That's a great way to think about it. Silence can be a huge emotional range. It can be a comfortable silence between two people who don't need words, or it can be heavy and tense during an argument. It can even show grief, awe, or total peace. It's almost like a blank canvas that takes on whatever emotions in the room. Do you think you're usually more of a comfortable silence person or tense silence person?
Now I understand. This is my 14th question is how has shade been used in movies and cartoons?
In movies and cartoons, shade is usually all about the timing and the delivery. They love to use it for comedic effect, like a character giving a slow, judgmental look or a quick, sharp comment that cuts someone down without them even realizing it at first. It's a great way to show power dynamics or rivalry without having a full blown shouting match. Do you have a favorite character who's known for being a bit sassy or throwing shade?
Okay, understand. This is my 15th question is why do some people use a finger over their lips while saying shade?
That's such a classic move. Putting a finger over the lips is a universal signal for shh, and it's basically a way of visually commanding silence. When people do that while throwing shade, it's often like they're telling you to be quiet while they're judging you, or it's a way of saying, I'm saying this quietly, but
Yeah.
it's a huge deal. It adds a layer of secrecy or superiority to the whole thing. Do you think that gesture
I
makes someone
understand.
seem more in
I
control, or
understand. This is my 16th question is are there other sounds or gestures that mean be quiet?
oh, there are so many? Aside from the finger on the lips, you've got things like the slow blink, the raised eyebrow, or even just crossing your arms and leaning back. Sometimes a simple sigh or a little head shake says way more than a whole paragraph of words. Which one of those do you see the most?
Hmm. Okay, this is
Hmm.
my
Take your.
17th,
I'm glad you think so.
17th question is how has the meaning of should changed over time?
Wait, did you mean food or maybe mood or rude? I want to make sure I'm not guessing since we've been talking about emotions and silence. Were you asking about how the meaning of food changed, or was that a
Hmm.
slip of the tongue?
I repeat again, how has the meaning of should changed over time?
I'm still having a bit of a hard time catching that.
Hmm.
It sounds like you're asking about how something changed over time, but
Hmm.
SD winning
Very
box is throwing me for a loop. Could you
yeah.
try saying that one more time or maybe explain it in a different way?
How has the meaning of should changed over time?
That's a pivot. If you mean a literal shirt, it's gone from being a basic undergarment to a huge fashion statement and a way to show off your personality. But if you're talking about it as a term or slang, I might be missing something. Which one are you curious about?
Then speaking loudly. Hello. Okay, my listen. This is my 18th question. Is when is using shit more effective than speaking loudly?
That's a great question. Using a chirp or a short, sharp sound is usually more effective when you need to grab someone's attention immediately without being disruptive, or when you're trying to signal something quickly in a noisy environment where a long sentence would just get lost. It's more about a sudden spike in sound than sustained volume. What's the context for this one? Is it part of that project you've
Okay,
been working on?
I understand. This is my 19th question. Is how does staying quiet improve listening and learning?
When you use those short, sharp sounds, or even just a focused, intentional way of speaking, it forces the listener to tune in more closely. It cuts through the background noise, which makes the brain snap into a state of active listening.
Mhm.
For learning, it's all about that contrast. When a
Okay, I
sound stands
understand.
out, the
I understand. This is my last question. Is what can the evolution of shit teach us about human communication and respect for others?
that's a big one to end on. It shows that human communication is always evolving to find a balance between efficiency and empathy. The shift from just shouting to using more nuanced signals, like a chirp or a specific tone, suggests that we've learned that respect isn't just about being quiet, but about being intentional with how we enter someone else's space.
Mm-hmm.
It's the difference between demanding attention and requesting it.
Okay, thank you.